right, folks, here we are. We are working on University number 2 in New Windsor. So the first university, obviously, was Hawking University near downtown, and this is going to be the other university in the city. And it's actually not even in the city. It's basically next to New Belfast, if you know where that is. We'll hop in game later, and I'll show you around where we are here, but yeah, this is next to New Belfast. It's probably in the jurisdiction of New Belfast, in the real world if this were an actual city. So it's, but it's going to be called the University of New Windsor. So slightly confusing, but not unheard of. So, yeah, this university is not going to be extremely interesting, but it'll look really good because we've got the autumn trees, and autumn trees plus universities just look great when you just add a nice minimal amount of detailing and look at them from the water, because we're right in the water here, right by the ocean, which is just a beautiful spot to have a university like this. So yeah, I mean, we've got a lot to talk about today. I'm probably not going to be doing any viewer build showcases, even though I've got loads of them to do, simply because I have basically no time to get this video done. I have to probably get this done in the next 40 minutes if I want to get out of my bike, and yeah, I don't think we have time to do a viewer build showcase. But I did ask on Twitter about whether people wanted me to continue doing viewer build showcases, and it was like 9-1 in terms of, well, I asked if people enjoyed the segments, which is implicitly, do you want me to do more? And people said, 9-1 that they enjoyed the segments. So that's going to continue. We're going to continue having viewer build showcases in the videos, just not this video because time constraints. But it seems like you guys really do enjoy that segment, which I'm happy about. And I wasn't sort of sure if that was the case, just because it's a little bit of an interruption from the video itself, but I can see the appeal of it. I mean, I love looking at all your builds. Like, it's just so much fun seeing what you're building. I've got some amazing stuff coming up soon. Like, here, this is just an example of a build you'll see next. It's an alternate reality where Catalonia conquers South America. So that stuff like that. We've got really cool things that I don't go on Reddit anymore, really, not very often at least. So it's nice to be able to see what you guys are building, regardless. And it's some really unique stuff. So we're gonna continue viewer build showcases very soon. I'm also gonna have quality requirements for them now. So we're not gonna do any vanilla-esque builds. So as in, you got to be using a lot of custom mods and assets, and there's no hard threshold for that, but I'll just tell you if I'm able to showcase your city when you send it to me, or not. And yeah, hopefully it won't have to reject too many people. Most of you guys are building really modded cities, but yeah, so have good graphics mods, good, other stuff, and also send me 1920 by 1080 screenshots, because I've been getting non-full HD screenshots that I can't really show those. So yeah, but that's about it. So that's for that. That's that for that. Yes, this is me on not too much time. So initially, I decided to base this university off of the University of Rochester in Rochester, New York. So, I mean, it's a really nice, well-rounded campus. It's got a huge medical school campus area right next to the main campus. So I decided, okay, I want to build a hospital area near here anyway, so I guess we'll just generally base it off of that. And I ended up just sort of going my own direction because I had some really hilly terrain to work with, which I wasn't really aware of, but I placed the roads, there were hills, and I figured, okay, I'll just take the challenge. It's not easy working with hills, but it's sort of fun, honestly. It's a lot of fun because you're able to you're able to create a lot of views that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise, and it's really challenging. So if you just work with flat cities, play some hills. It's nice. It's very nice because, I mean, working with them in Columbia Cities taught me a lot, and I'm trying to add, more hills to New Windsor because Obviously, I mean, Providence is a pretty hilly area generally. It's not completely flat. So we're gonna go off of that, I guess. But I mean, this area here is right by the water. It's just such a beautiful spot. We're gonna be adding detail to the area near the water in another episode. This episode, all we do is we basically place and detail the entire main campus, which has all the older buildings on it. And we place, obviously 2 parking garages on the campus, and then a sort of visitor parking lot. But the main student parking is going to be sort of across the street in this big, asphalt area. Just lots and lots of parking everywhere. So that's what we're going to end up having. And I mean, yeah, this area over here generally is pretty old though. So it's, I'm going to try not to make the medical school campus, when we build that, sort of impede on everything too much, because I mean, this university that we're working on right now, this part of the campus it's not too disruptive. It's a pretty old campus. It's got the normal university campus DLC buildings, which are pretty classic, and then we have some King Lino buildings on top of that, but they're all pretty classic, not too modern or anything. But the medical school campus is going to be pretty modern, so we're going to have to integrate that into the New Belfast area without it being too obnoxious, but I'm sure we're going to be able to do that, because I mean, Rochester's a pretty old city too, although the university's pretty far outside of the city in Rochester. Okay, we've got a little bit of housekeeping to do. So I sort of asked in the last Columbia City video what you guys thought of different episode lengths and frequencies. So I gave you 2 options, and this choice is not really sort of what we've got right now, because I probably can't make 2 videos a week right now, no matter what, because it's overall more time consuming, even if they're shorter. But if I were to have the time in the future, what would you want? And I asked, would you rather have a 1 episode a week that's like 30 to 40 minutes, I think I asked, or 1 episode, or 2 episodes a week rather, that were like 15 to 25 minutes, probably on the lower end of that. And so I got a lot of responses, but it was sort of all over the place, so I want to consolidate them. We're going to do a poll, so if you go to the top right of the screen right now, you should be able to vote on a pretty simple poll. Option 1, which is one longer episode once a week, or option 2, which is 2 shorter episodes twice a week. So once again, I don't really have the time to make 2 videos a week right now, but if I did, it would have to be 2 shorter videos. But they wouldn't be too short, because I'd have the live gameplay in there for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, so that would probably fill a bunch of time. But I just want to see what you guys enjoy, because for me, I generally like shorter videos myself, but I also like things to be comprehensive, so it's sort of a balance there. So tell me what you think, so I can know, because I will have more time at some point in the future, just not now, because my semester got a lot more complicated for various reasons, but we'll try to keep things consistent. All right. I mean, hopefully you're enjoying this Falcon Falls, nostalgic music. God, that series was just so much fun. I remember when I was ending it, I just made the whole, basically most of the map in 1 episode, because I just wanted to start a new city. But yeah, that was a pretty crazy series. First series of the channel. Check it out if you haven't already. I recommend the later episodes, because the earlier episodes were pretty bad. So maybe go to the last episode of the series, or no, actually, go watch the Falcon Falls cinematic video. It is one of the best videos I've ever made. It was just, yeah, it was a really good video. I think I mentioned Falcon Falls and told you to check that video out in like a recent video as well, but I've started using newer, or so some older music rather from Falcon Falls, and you know, the nostalgia's coming back, so I'll let you know again. Anyway, so we are working on the visitor parking lot area. The detail is the normal autumn detail, which I'm getting so tired of. I mean, it's just basically you place the trees with the forest brush, which is actually way better than whatever I had to do before. But then after that, below it, you gotta add the autumn leaves and then some decals to vary the texture, and then you gotta add some rocks and maybe some fallen trees, and it's really annoying, but it's like, it's so much better than the alternative, which is placing all of the trees either by hand or with many different brushes that don't work well together. Like the forest brush mod was probably the most transformative mod of last year. I think it came out last year, or no, it was this year. Yes, yeah, so of 2019 so far, if it came out in 2019, in fact. Like, it's probably the most transformative in my humble opinion. Like, it's just been so useful for me, just because I make these really varied forests in New Windsor. I haven't had as much of a use for it in Columbia City yet, but I haven't moved out of downtown. So next video, I don't know what I'm going to feel like working on. It's either going to be a New Windsor video, where either we work on sort of expanding the university, or we just do a road layout type of thing, sort of further away from the university, near the river. Because I got to expand the road layout, because the city is in desperate need of expansion. We haven't really done any of that in a long time. So either of those, or we'll just work on Columbia City or Calabria Beach. Probably Columbia City, because I don't really have time to work on Calabria Beach right now. It's a pretty detailed, intensive project that I got to put a lot of thought into. So yeah. Anyway, the university is really looking great. I mean, I sort of went in a week earlier and built most of it. But then I started detailing, I got bored, and then I just stopped and got demotivated. And then I came in today and I just finished it up with all the detailing, and it ended up looking great. So, you know, if you're like demotivated with whatever you're working on, you think it's sort of boring, just give yourself a week, come back, and it'll end up looking, you know, a lot better in the end. It's like, I love this little open field area around this building that we're working on right now. Really simple, but it adds a lot. I'm not just covering everything in trees, I say, as I'm covering these cliffs in trees, because the slopes here are pretty weird, so we're doing a bunch of, you know, covering things up with trees so you don't notice. And yeah, I have to remove this building right here just because it's like, it's on a ridiculous slope. So I end up making this a nice little open space. We've got a lot of open spaces on campus, which is really nice. Go out and do your homework there in the New England winter. Probably a bad idea. All right, so we're sort of coming to the end of the time lapse here. This university, at least the main campus, turned out great. I mean, I think we've got 2 or 3 more episodes at least to work on the surrounding areas and the rest of the campus, because this is just the old heart of the campus. We've got the medical school, we've got the sports field, stuff like that to do, so that'll be in more episodes. But for now, let's just hop in game, check out what we just built. Alright folks, we're in game, so let's take a look at what we just built and survey the city in general as well. So this is the university. This is called the University of New Windsor. Pretty original, but I mean, we've already got Hawking University on the other side of town over there, so I wanted to go for something a little bit different here, and just go for a nice generic University of New Windsor here. Even though it's not even in New Windsor, this is probably in the jurisdiction of New Belfast, which is independent. But yeah, so this is the campus. It's pretty cool, I think. It's not very unique. It's just the autumn makes it look so good. I'm just using the normal campus DLC buildings and some King Leto buildings. Added pretty minimal detail everywhere, but we're not going to be like zooming in here. It's mostly going to be like rooftop shots looking at downtown, and that looks really, really good. Just having something here. So, okay, we have a little transit depot here that's not really integrated that well, where I want to integrate the light rail better. We'll probably end up having it have the main light rail station right here, and then I'll change this around, so don't worry about that. But then that's the bus terminal right there. And we've got the law school right here, like sort of a visitor parking lot type of thing. And we've got 2 parking garages. There's going to be a lot more parking out here, actually. We're basing this off of University of Rochester, or at least generally. So I'm going to take some inspiration from that in terms of the parking, and that there's a lot of sort of parking off the main campus that's just a huge field of parking lots. So we're going to do something like that probably. But yeah, I love these buildings. Ever since I saw them for the campus DLC, like I've known that they had to be in New Windsor somewhere, and I don't know, I like this spot. So the plan is to add dorms in various areas sort of around here. We're gonna have like a path going through here, so probably no dorms here, but like at this area, and then over here maybe, and maybe some over here. Like we're gonna have dorms scattered around. There aren't really any on campus, so we're gonna have to add them elsewhere. So over here we're gonna have sports fields, and we're probably gonna end up putting a hospital and a sort of a medical school over here, near downtown New Belfast. Which, God, this looks so good. Like, it's so good. I'm so happy with this. And we're gonna have that there. Nice, imposing, boring architecture on this beautiful little city. This is just still my favorite part of the city. It's so good. But yeah, so that's basically our plan there, and this is the city as a whole. I'm enjoying it. It's going pretty well. The city's looking great. I plan on doing an episode soon where we sort of expand the road layout out this way. This whole area over here, as many of you know, is going to be relatively lower density industrial. No huge port or anything, but that's going to be how that works. We're going to have mostly just residential going out here and just boring suburbia. But yeah, that's about it. So hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like. It really lets me know that you're enjoying, helps the video out, helps it in the algorithm. More people will see it. You know the deal. You can subscribe if you're new around here, and hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button if you want to get notified when I upload and see the rest of New Windsor's expansion, which I think is going to be pretty exciting. You can support me on Patreon. That really does help out a ton. Listen, it really helps me justify putting so much time into these videos, making this university, making New Windsor, Columbia City, and the support really just means so much. And it also, gets you access to new episodes, so you can watch the next episode, or the next video, rather. I don't know what series it'll be right now. If you head over to my Patreon and just give me $1, you'll be able to watch the next video. And you can follow me on Twitter. I post bike lane rants on there and stuff. I want my bike lanes, and I'll post about it, so my Twitter followers know that. You can follow me there. And then I post my best screenshots on my Instagram. So if you want to get really nice views like this, you can follow me on Instagram. Those are both in the description. And yeah, that's about it. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.